Sage here of TaraSageCoaching.com, devoted to helping you live your dreams and create a life and business that you don't need a vacation from. And today I am so glad to be here with you and to connect with you on a topic that I think speaks to a lot of people. I know I've been there, and I'm going to share some of that with you. And that is how to create from where you are when you're not where you want to be. How to create from where you are when you're not where you want to be. Who can relate to that? Give a thumbs up if you can relate to being in a place where you don't want to be and trying to figure out how the heck do I get where I want to go from here. So that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. I like to use the analogy, if you will, of a trail map. You know when you go for a hike and there's that red star on the trail map. The red star on the trail map says, you are here. This is where you are. And it's so critical to know where the heck you are in order to get where you want to go. So you have to start with, you are here, knowing where you are. So I want to show you first today where I am, quite in a literal sense, because what I mean when I say you are here, it's where you are physically, but it can also absolutely mean where you are energetically, where you are emotionally, where you are financially. It's all about getting clear on where are you starting from before you head on your journey to get where you want to go. So I want to show you, if I can figure this out, where I am right now. Yeah. So that's the view that I'm looking at as I speak to you here today, and I wanted to turn the camera around so you could see you are here. My you are here is here right now. So I'm going to turn it back around. Enjoyed that. Awesome. So I wasn't always here, right? I didn't always have the freedom to go where I want to go. And I want to tell you a little bit about that. So one of the places that I was when I was in a you are here space that I didn't want to be in was this dark, musty basement apartment that I lived in for 5 years, close to 5 years. And yeah, I lived in this dark, musty basement apartment. I mean, I was literally underground. And that metaphor was not lost on me. So much of my life felt dark, it felt hard, and I was really in a tough spot in a lot of ways in my life. And I lived there for 5 stinking years, quite literally stinking. It was like musty and icky down there, but that was my home. During that time as well, for a good part of it, I was in a job. I spell it because for some people it's a bad word. I was in a job that I truly hated going to. I hated going to work every day. It was a paycheck, but it was completely unfulfilling for me. Like, I felt like the walls were coming in on me as I was sitting at my desk. I remember imagining I'd see a crack in the wall across from my desk, and I was imagining and wishing that I was like a little spider and I could just crawl through the crack in the wall and escape this place. So I have been there as well. And I also was in a space during that, especially that 5-year period of my life where there was all this relationship drama going on as well. So I was in this dark, musty basement apartment in a job that I hated going to every day, with lots of relationship drama and lots of painful dynamics that I was moving through in my life. So here's the thing. I was painfully aware of where I was. And if you are feeling that, if you are painfully aware of where you are, that it's not where you want to be, that's a good starting place, because it's a good source of fuel. It's a good source of motivation for change. When you know you're not where you want to be, there's such jet fuel in that energy to put in your tank to make some changes. Now, that said, you're gonna need to shift the energy of any negativity. In other words, an attitude adjustment will be needed as well. Been there. Yeah, people are saying been there. So that fuel, that desire for things to be different can absolutely propel you forward in a lot of ways, because you can decide to make some changes. But you don't want to be creating from that energy of unhappiness, frustration, that just endless kind of feeling like you're drowning or like you're in an energetic sinkhole. It's so critical that you not only move into some actionable ways to make some changes, but that you shift the inner story. You've got to tell yourself a new story. I hope that worked and I'm back. Little technology glitches. So unless you shift the energy that you're creating from, if you have that frustration energy really present for you, then that's the ingredients that you're creating with. So you don't want to be creating more with the energy of unhappiness. So you've got to shift it. You've got to shift the story. This isn't about shifting the circumstances. This is about shift an inner game, telling a new story. So is that making sense? Good. All right, so key ways to shift the energy: have an attitude adjustment essentially, and shift some of that stinking thinking. I mean, I was totally in it. I was like, this sucks, poor me. And I had to shift that. So the first thing is to really recognize and decide that it is imperative that you stop stewing in the upset and the frustration and in the unhappiness. That's just got to be a decision, because it doesn't serve you, and you don't want to be using that as ingredients in the thing that you're cooking for the next phase of your life, right? Then activate the energy of gratitude. That is the fastest track that I know to create a new from. So let me tell you a little bit about how I did that from the I was there spaces. One is in that dark, musty basement apartment. I started to notice, what are the things that I appreciate about this space? And some of those things were, it had a fireplace. I really enjoy making fires. And so I appreciated that. So I got into the energy of, I appreciate this fireplace. And it might just be one thing in your environment that you connect with, but activate that energy of appreciation. Also, it was my space. I didn't have a roommate, and I was very happy about that. In terms of, I'd had roommates for years. So it was my first place that was mine. So I got into the space of appreciation about that as well. I had a parking spot in the driveway. That's something I appreciated about that dark, musty basement apartment. And I also appreciated that this was going to be for now, but it was not going to be forever. And that was a decision, and that was a mantra. For now, not forever. And I was able to, if nothing else, get into a space of appreciation that this would be my past soon, because I was determined about that. The job that I was in, it was a paycheck, so I appreciated that about it. And when I started getting into that space of gratitude for that job, I started to see new possibilities for myself. Like, for example, I saw that steady paycheck could be an avenue for me to buy a house. And I did. I bought a 2-family house, which was a very strategic decision at the time, knowing I wanted to start a business. And I selected a house that had a big upstairs rental space, and I lived in the small downstairs space, and the rental income paid my mortgage. So I used my job, you're hearing this, wannabe entrepreneurs, I used my job to leverage getting a contracted mortgage agreement, and then that mortgage agreement, I got a rental space, and I became a landlordess, and I collected rent, and that paid my mortgage. And what that did is set me up to be able to start my business with not a lot of overhead costs. So I started to see possibilities from that space of gratitude, and that's what happens when you shift from the stinking thinking to, hey, what about this is working for me, and how can I leverage that? I also, I was single at the time. As I shared, there was lots of relationship drama going on, and one of the things I did was, instead of feeling sorry for myself, I started to celebrate love. I started to celebrate when I saw people who looked really happy together. Instead of feeling envy or well, what do they have that I don't have, or any of those stories, I started to see them and say, oh, look at that. Let me celebrate that they are in love. And what I did in doing that is I fused my energy with theirs in that sense. I joined forces with the energy and the vibration of love instead of envy. Again, inner game. This is all inner game. None of my circumstances changed. I still lived in the basement apartment. I still went to the JOB, and I was still single. But I changed the inner story. So that's the scoop, is how can you shift your thinking when you are in a space where you don't want to be. It's so key that you create anew from that space, because you can't create from anywhere except the present moment. So from that present moment, shift your thinking and then step into new possibilities. That is how it is done. I've never figured out another way. I believe that's it. So how to create from where you are when you are not where you want to be. Yes? Yes. So shift into the energy of gratitude for where you are, for the red star in the trail map now. See the gifts in it, while also acknowledging to yourself that it's temporary. It's for now, not forever. Honor that you are determined to make some changes, but you can also appreciate where you are. So this is not always an easy thing to do, and I would love, the opportunity to help you with that if I can be of service with that, or with creating location independent business or living, or whatever boundless living looks like for you in your dream vision of it. So as always, I welcome the opportunity to connect with people from my community, and I invite you to take me up on a complimentary session. You can do that at sessionwithtara.com. Super easy breezy, and get on my calendar right there, sessionwithtara.com. All right, so let me turn this camera around again and show you where I am, where my red star on the trail map is right now. Oh yes. Not too shabby. If I could sing well, I'd sing sitting on the dock of the bay. Just drink that in with me. Where do you want to be? See that horizon and see yourself manifesting that horizon, and start with feeling good, even if you're not where you want to be. That's the secret sauce to getting where you want to be going. Don't stew, be grateful. And let that propel you forward into your new creation. So that's my tips from Tara for you today. I hope to connect with you privately if you feel called to that. Sessionwithtara.com. All right, my friends, much love. Enjoy your day wherever you are. For now, not forever. Bye.